What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. Now that Blizzard has finally officially revealed the new Overwatch 2 support hero Kiriko, and also given us a massive information dump regarding the Overwatch 2 Battle Pass structure, and how the cosmetic system and shop is going to revolve around it, today I wanted to take some time to make a video where I just talk a little bit about some of the concerns I have regarding this new information we've gotten. Now, I know there's been a lot of controversy and discourse lately regarding things like heroes being locked in the Battle Pass, and about how difficult it'll potentially end up being for new players to end up unlocking those new heroes. And while there is certainly some concerns I would like to discuss in detail in this video regarding that, there's also some other issues as well, some of which I haven't seen people really address yet, and I think some people are overlooking just how unfortunate the cosmetic system specifically will end up being in Overwatch 2. Before I dig into the Battle Pass and cosmetics though, I would like to talk just a little bit about Kiriko, and specifically focus in on her kit and abilities, and some of the concerns I have regarding her. Now, first and foremost, I think Kiriko looks like an awesome new support hero. I am extremely excited to get to play her. She looks very fun, very cool, but she does admittedly feel like her kit might be just a little bit bloated. Simply looking at her abilities on paper, she does a lot. Not only is she capable of dealing decent damage, with bonus damage being dealt on headshots and other critical hits, but she's also capable of healing her allies, teleporting through walls, cleansing status debuffs from herself and her allies, granting temporary immortality to herself and her allies, in addition to being able to speed boost, fire rate boost, reload boost, and cooldown reduce herself and teammates through her ultimate. That is a lot of stuff crammed into a single hero's kit. Now, I'm not going to say that it's outright overpowered or broken for her to have all these mechanics in her kit, since we'd have to see how it actually manifests in game when you factor in things like cooldowns and stuff like that. But just from the basic premise of this character's kit and abilities, it seems like there is a lot going on with her. And I think it dovetails very specifically with some of the other information we actually got during this recent big info dump, specifically regarding Overwatch's philosophy going forward when it comes to adding new heroes to Overwatch 2. The blurb I'd like to focus on specifically comes from the article that Blizzard themselves posted, where they mentioned that as we build new heroes and balance the existing cast for our new 5v5 PvP experience, we have shifted our hero design approach to allow you to have an impact on your matches with a range of different heroes and strategies. This means reducing the presence of specific hard counters to heroes. They then go on to give an example about how Cassidy hard counters Tracer, and about how they don't want players to have to necessarily swap just to deal with one given character on the enemy team, and that's all well and good, but I think what we're seeing specifically here with Kiriko and her very heavily bloated kit is probably the result of this push towards making heroes more generalist in nature as opposed to being more specialist. By giving Kiriko all these different things she can do, deal damage, heal, cleanse, teleport, all that stuff, they make it so that she's more viable in more situations because as an individual character, there's just more she can do. And while that's certainly a good thing in terms of wanting your favorite hero to be viable in more situations, I do worry about how this is going to actually end up affecting game balance in the long run, and also what it's going to do for the identity of any given character. If every hero is capable of doing everything, more or less, then it won't really matter that the heroes are different. Characters might end up feeling too similar, too homogenous with every other character in their given role, to the point that getting a new hero addition doesn't have a whole ton of appeal outside of just a new face appearing on the roster. Now, that might be a bit of an extreme concern in that I don't think we're ever going to see another Wrecking Ball tank hero who grapples around and has a ball form, but it could mean we see more dive tanks who effectively function identically to Wrecking Ball, just in their own thematically different way. And while that isn't necessarily a bad thing, I do think it undermines what makes a lot of given heroes unique if Blizzard does end up going in this more generalist direction, where they focus less on giving heroes a clear-cut, specific thing they're capable of doing, and instead just sort of dump everything useful into their kit. I mean, looking at Kiriko and just on paper everything she's capable of, I honestly don't know what I would say is her weakness necessarily. I'm sure weaknesses will become apparent after we actually get to play her in game, but considering how Junker Queen played in the most recent Overwatch 2 beta, I am a little concerned about new heroes being just sort of do everything OP. Junker Queen, as those of you who played as or especially against her probably noticed, was just sort of capable of doing anything. She honestly just felt like the objectively best tank. You match her up against any tank other than another Junker Queen, and it just felt like she had an advantage for whatever reason. And while that might make a bit more sense in the tank department, since there's only one tank hero per team in Overwatch 2 instead of the 2 supports and damage heroes you have, it makes a bit more sense for a tank to be able to do more as an individual character. But when you also add that aspect to characters like support heroes, like it seems like we might end up seeing with Kiriko, I'm worried these new heroes are gonna just completely overshadow any of the older cast of characters. Now, I will be coming back to this idea of making future Overwatch 2 heroes more generalized and homogenous a bit later once I'm talking about the Battle Pass and some of the aspects of that, but before I move on from talking about the new hero Kiriko, there was one other little thing I wanted to mention regarding her, which is the number of complaints I've seen people bringing up, specifically with regards to her visual design. Now, admittedly, I don't really understand the concern most people seem to have with her visual design as we see her here. I think she looks just fine as a character. She seems to have a pretty clear-cut visual inspiration for her design in-game, which is that her outfit is based off of a Japanese shrine maiden, and she definitely has the little fox motif with her little hat, headband, visor thing. And while I certainly wouldn't say that she's one of the more visually prominent heroes on the Overwatch roster, I do think her design overall is just fine, and she does fit perfectly well within the Overwatch art style. However, on a similar note to that, there was one concern which stuck out to me a bit in the visual department for this character, which is specifically regarding 2 of her upcoming legendary skins. Now, at first glance, when you look at these 3 images, do you honestly recognize them as being the same character? Because for me, I had to do a double take on both of these 2 legendary skins when I first watched these trailers before I realized that this was Kiriko. Now, I don't know if it's just because Kiriko is a new hero who I personally haven't seen in-game yet, because she's not in-game, we haven't gotten to play her, and whether that's the reason why I don't recognize her, or if it really is emblematic of her potentially having a weak character design. I mean, by comparison, just looking at the cyberpunk skins they have shown off here, I would say every single one of these other heroes, even Sojourn, who's a relatively new hero, each one of these other characters I'd say immediately stick out as being that given hero. Hanzo, Roadhog, all of them just immediately stick out as being those characters, even though their visuals are changed pretty significantly with these skins. But for whatever reason, something about Kiriko just doesn't seem to translate across these 2 given skins at the very least. Now, I don't know if this is just me, and maybe it won't even end up being an issue, because as soon as we see her, running around and doing her things in the match, we'll instantly be able to recognize her. But considering that, again, referencing Junker Queen in the most recent Overwatch 2 beta, and the issues she had with not having a particularly discernible silhouette and visual design, I am a bit worried that Kiriko might end up suffering that same fate as well. Maybe it'll end up being an issue, maybe it won't, but it was just something that stuck out to me, and I thought it was probably worth mentioning here, just to see if anyone else thought this as well, because I haven't seen a ton of people talk about it other than the people who are just complaining about her base design. So definitely let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Do you think these outfits look too different from Kiriko's base design such that she isn't even recognizable? Or is it just me? Moving on from the new support hero though, next up let's talk about the Battle Pass. The Battle Pass has been a controversial one, especially considering the fact that new heroes will in fact be locked to the Battle Pass. Yes, let's go ahead and touch on this one up front. New heroes will be unlocked instantly through the Premium Battle Pass, which can be purchased for $10 US, or unlocked for free through the Free Battle Pass route at Tier 55. Now, admittedly, we don't know how long it'll take the average player to reach tier 55 of the free battle pass. We have a bit of info regarding the XP you gain through the weekly challenges specifically based off of this image Blizzard has provided here, which suggests that by completing every weekly challenge, you can potentially get up to 55,000 experience just from the weekly challenges, which, assuming that every tier requires 10,000 XP to reach and there isn't any sort of exponential increase to the cost of each tier as you go through the battle pass, means that every week you can advance 5.5 tiers simply through the weekly challenges. That's not counting the daily challenges, that's not counting the XP you get from simply playing a match itself, and it's not counting any other sort of miscellaneous things which might emerge that give you XP. So in terms of how long it'll realistically take a free-to-play player to unlock the new hero on the free battle pass route, we unfortunately simply don't know yet. However, regardless of how long it takes, I think the fact that heroes are bound to the battle pass at all is something that's going to become more and more of a problem, specifically as time goes on and more new players end up joining the game. Imagine that you're a brand new player, you never touched Overwatch 1, your first time playing Overwatch is with the release of Overwatch 2 and it being free to play, which means you don't get Kiriko automatically for free like all existing Overwatch 1 players will. That means you will have to grind your way up to tier 55 of the battle pass in order to unlock her, and that'll end up taking you X amount of time and effort. Now, let's consider you didn't start playing with Season 1, but rather waited until Season 2, when the next new hero gets added and is presumably going to be in the Battle Pass the same way as Kiriko is. Now, you're going to have to not only do that same process to get that new hero, but also you're going to have to jump through whatever hoops are necessary in order to unlock the previous hero, being Kiriko. We do know that there will be ways to unlock past Battle Pass heroes in future seasons, but again, we don't know any of the specific details about that. Now, let's imagine rather than joining Overwatch in Season 2, you join during Season 10, or at some other point after there have been, let's say, 10 more heroes added to Overwatch through the battle passes over the years. Imagine how long it would take you to unlock all the past battle pass heroes that you've missed. I think it's safe to say that for people who join Overwatch pretty far down the line in the future, it's not too hard to imagine that it might be infeasible for the average new free-to-play player to actually be able to unlock every single hero. And I think that specifically ties back in with what I was talking about earlier with making future Overwatch 2 heroes more homogeneous. Blizzard knows that if they reached a point in the future where it was infeasible for new players to ever realistically unlock every existing hero for free, it wouldn't be fair if certain heroes hard countered other heroes. You could very easily end up in a situation where the tank player on your team, let's say, isn't able to play whatever hero who's strong against the other enemy team's tank, simply because they haven't been able to feasibly unlock them. Well, if you just make every hero more generic and more capable of doing everything and not being super strong or weak against any other given character, that sort of alleviates the issue of characters not being unlocked for every given player, and thus helps to justify putting heroes in the battle pass. What I'm getting at here is that while there are certainly some benevolent, should we say, reasons for making heroes more generalized in Overwatch 2, I can't help but wonder to what extent this decision to sort of normalize everyone in any given role was more so done to justify putting heroes in the battle pass over, making your favorite hero viable in more situations. Now, maybe that isn't the case. Maybe that had nothing to do with it for all we know. But it's absolutely a change in direction that softens the blow for people who aren't particularly thrilled about having to either pay or grind in order to get that newest hero. Now, admittedly, it's far from the worst monetization model they could have gone with. I'll give them that. But I will say that I lament those future Overwatch newcomers who 5-10 years down the line decide to get into Overwatch only to realize that it'll cost them a fortune to ever get to own every single hero. But speaking of costing a fortune, let's move on now to what might be the single most concerning thing I've come across following this latest Overwatch 2 information dump, which is the insane amount of money we're going to have to end up spending in Overwatch 2 if we actually want to get all the new skins. Now, this is something which I haven't seen many people really talk about. I think a lot of people have sort of been fixating on Kiriko and the overall battle pass and heroes being locked in the battle pass, since those are the more upfront, in your face, ooh, this is a thing type thing. But if you really pay attention to the cosmetic system and the new shop system we're going to be getting in Overwatch 2, it's concerning. I don't know if there's any other way to put it, and let me explain why. So, looking at the Season 1 Battle Pass, specifically the Premium Battle Pass, if you purchase the Season 1 Battle Pass for $10 and grind your way all the way through it, you will unlock 1 Mythic skin, 5 Legendary skins, and 3 Epic skins, 2 of which are part of the free Battle Pass track, so you would get those regardless. Now, this is all well and good and may seem like a decent offer, specifically in comparison to loot boxes, which were the cosmetic system in Overwatch 1. One of the biggest arguments I've seen in favor of a Battle Pass as opposed to loot boxes ever since it was announced that Overwatch 2 would be making this sort of change is that a Battle Pass was better because you would always know what you're going to get rather than having to consistently gamble over and over and over again on whether or not that next loot box you get is gonna in fact have the skin you want. And while sure, that's a reasonable argument when comparing loot boxes to a battle pass specifically, the thing I think most people are overlooking is the fact that the battle pass isn't going to contain all the new skins. In fact, based off of the information we already have so far, it looks like the battle pass might not even have the majority of new skins we're gonna be getting. This image here shows us 3 out of the 5 legendary skins we're going to be getting, as well as the 1 epic skin as part of the premium battle pass. And this little clip here from the battle pass trailer Blizzard released alongside it seems to suggest that this Pharah and Mercy skin will be the other 2, which means that all 5 legendary skins and all 3 epic skins, including the 2 free ones from the free track, and of course the mythic Genji skin, are accounted for in these images. Which means, if we take a look at this roster of very cool looking cyberpunk legendary skins, which are also going to be part of this first Overwatch 2 season, each one of these skins will only be obtainable by purchasing them through the shop. Now, interestingly, Blizzard hasn't actually given us much information about this Overwatch 2 in-game shop. Despite everything they've shown off thus far regarding the battle pass and things we'll unlock through it, little focus has been given to the shop and corresponding bundles that'll be included in it. But looking at the little information we do have, we can see that a lot of the skins are probably going to be available in little bundles like this one shown here. This bundle seems to include a Widowmaker Cyberpunk legendary skin, along with a weapon charm and a spray. Now, no price is listed for how much this given bundle is going to end up costing, but considering the price of Overwatch League skins we've seen in Overwatch 1, which cost 200 Overwatch League tokens, which is equivalent to $10, I think it's pretty safe to say that this bundle here will cost at least $10, being 1,000 Overwatch coins. Which means if you want all 5 of these new Cyberpunk skins shown off in this image here, discounting the Kiriko skin, which we know is going to be part of the Battle Pass, you're probably going to have to spend $50 worth of Overwatch coins in order to unlock all of these 5 skins. That's starting to get pretty pricey, but then again, we know there are free ways of getting Overwatch coins, right? Well, yes, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get them very easily. Based off the information provided thus far, it seems like there are actually only 2 methods by which to earn Overwatch coins. One is to buy them outright, as we can see here in the new in-game shop, and the other is through completing weekly challenges. However, based off of the image we have here, which shows the Overwatch coin rewards you get for completing the 11 weekly challenges, it looks like you can only get at most 60 coins a week, and that's from completing challenges. Not just automatically you get 60 free coins, you have to actually play the game enough, and as they specifically request through these challenges, in order to get those 60 coins. Which means, for free, without spending any real money, you're gonna get 60 cents worth of Overwatch coins from these weekly challenges every week. But maybe there's another way of getting Overwatch coins, right? Maybe you can get Overwatch coins through daily challenges or seasonal challenges. No. If you look at any of the information provided by Blizzard regarding these new Overwatch coins, they're specifically only ever mentioned as being available through weekly challenges, which almost certainly means that weekly challenges are in fact the exclusive way of earning Overwatch coins for free if you don't want to spend real money. It's even specified that Overwatch coins will not be part of the Battle Pass, which means that all these cool Cyberpunk skins, save for the Kiriko one, will not be obtainable by simply playing the game and grinding and leveling up the Battle Pass. And this is where I think the reality of the Overwatch 2 monetization system, and specifically the in-game shop, really starts to take form. Unless you end up spending real money to purchase Overwatch coins, it is effectively impossible to get everything you want in the game simply by grinding. These 60 coins you presumably can get every week from the weekly challenges, it would take you 17 weeks of doing every single weekly challenge in order to get enough in-game Overwatch coins to purchase a single 1,000 coin bundle. 17 weeks. Which means in order to get all 5 of these non-Battle Pass Cyberpunk skins you see right here, it would take 83 weeks of grinding every single week, finishing every single weekly challenge to get that 60 weekly Overwatch coins in order to get all of these skins. And the only alternative is to spend real money. Yeah, that's right. This is exactly what I was terrified of when Blizzard announced they were removing loot boxes. And look, I get it. People hate loot boxes. They are a huge problem in their own right. But at least when it came to Overwatch 1, the way loot boxes were implemented and the way they contained all the various new cosmetic items for events and everything, and the way they were earned for free through just playing the game and getting arcade wins and whatnot, meant that it was realistically possible for the average player to only have to spend money on Overwatch to buy that base game of $40 or $60 or whatever they pay for it, and then simply play the game enough to unlock every new skin from every new event that comes back every year. In Overwatch 2, that will be impossible. At this point, Blizzard has offered zero evidence to suggest there are any other methods by which a player can earn Overwatch coins, and zero evidence to suggest the rate at which we are able to earn coins for free will be in any way comparable to the rate at which new cosmetics and other things to spend those coins on are added to the game. Which means you're gonna have to start spending actual real money in order to get all those cool new skins Blizzard is pumping out. And considering the whole host of new skins Blizzard has already teased to be coming in this first season, which aren't necessarily part of that $10 battle pass, who knows how much money any given player might realistically be forced to end up spending in order to actually get every new cool skin. And look, I understand that this isn't a problem for a lot of people. There's a number of players who like the game just for the gameplay aspect. They don't care about what the character they play looks like, and they'll never spend a single cent on an Overwatch coin in order to get a specific skin. But for people like myself, unfortunately, and a number of other people I know who love the fantastic, phenomenal skins that Blizzard produces, because let's be honest, Overwatch has some of the best cosmetics out of any modern game. Compared to Apex, Fortnite, any other game like that, Overwatch clearly takes the cake with the quality and the design and the artistic expression of the cosmetics they put in, but now it is going to cost you a fortune to actually unlock all of those. And that, my friends, is my biggest concern about Overwatch 2 at this point, going forward, based off of everything Blizzard has told us thus far. Sure, I'm a little concerned about the direction they're taking new heroes and the way they're homogenizing them and potentially making them all too generalist focused and not specific enough. And sure, I'm concerned about future Overwatch free-to-play players who are going to have to spend ludicrous amounts of grinding time and or money in order to actually get access to all the past heroes that have released. But for someone in my own position who's been playing this game constantly since Overwatch Overwatch 1 launched more than 6 years ago and has successfully managed to unlock almost every single skin that has ever hit this game, I am terrified knowing that we are about to enter a point of the Overwatch franchise's life where it probably isn't feasible for me to get every skin going forward anymore. And I'm not even talking just, oh, I'm gonna pass on a $40 BlizzCon skin that's just like a recoloring of Bastion or something. No, we're talking about in-game constantly being added legendary skins, of which, for all I know, going forward, I might not even be able to afford the majority of. This isn't just missing 1 or 2 skins every now and again because they just happen to be exceptionally pricey. No, this is missing most skins probably for the average player. And honestly, I would love to hear your all's thoughts on this as well, because as I mentioned, I haven't really seen many people talking about this. I think a lot of people are just focusing on the battle pass itself and the way heroes are locked within it, and sort of ignoring the reality of how expensive it's going to end up being to get all these other cosmetics. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Do you agree that this is very disheartening to see the Overwatch monetization system go in this direction? Or maybe you're one of those people who honestly just doesn't care that much about skins, and to you, it doesn't even matter. Either way, I would love to hear your thoughts, because I'm very fascinated to see what people have to say regarding this, so be sure to leave your comments down below, and otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content, and special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below, and otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off. I'm both very excited and very concerned for Overwatch 2 at this point, but otherwise, have a great day.